Hello everyone and welcome to the second day of Student Chapter Development Workshop 2023.
Hello everyone. Just as I believe everyone is, I am so excited for today's event. But before we start our event, let us introduce ourselves. My name is Noor Alawi from the SPE Student Chapter IFP School.
And my name is Dia from SPE University of Indonesia Student Chapter. And today, me and Noor will be the master of ceremony for today's event.
Before we start, I'm going to mention the general rules of the event. First, we want everyone here to have fun and participate actively. Kindly note that participants will be muted during the presentations. It is highly recommended to always turn on your camera. And note that the event would be recorded and posted on our social media accounts. For today's event, our outline rundown will be the following. So we will first have opening remarks by SPE Head Region of Java, and then the SPE President of France. After that, we will be having a presentation on leadership by Ms. Cassandra Diwan. And after a Q&A session and a moment of appreciation for our speaker, we will have a roundtable discussion and then a documentation for our event.
Without any delay, we shall begin the Student Chapter Development Workshop 2023. To start this event, I am inviting the Head Region of SPE Java to give the opening remarks. Mr. Mehdi, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Good evening, everybody. My name is Mehdi Anestrian. I'm the SPE Java Chairperson, Indonesia section. Thank you for this opportunity to give to myself to speak in this event, Student Chapter Development Workshop held by two student chapter section from Indonesia and France, University of Indonesia and IFP School Student Chapter. As you know, the SPE University of Indonesia Student Chapter is one of the 12 student chapter in Java section. I'm proud for the effort that have been put by the SPE University of Indonesia Student Chapter section to hold this event and collaborating with other regional SPSC, which is from France, the IFP Student Chapter. As you know, SPE known as a society with the mission to connect global community of engineers, scientists, and related energy professionals to exchange their knowledge, innovate, and advance their technical and professional competence regarding the exploration, the development, and production of oil and gas and related energy resources to achieve safe, secure, and sustainable energy future. I think this event is in line with that SPE mission, and which is the area of your opportunity to actually building your network globally with the colleague from the other regional student chapter and with interaction and discussion. But also you can take a lot of knowledge from the speaker, and also you have opportunity to exchange your knowledge and perhaps benchmark to see how your student chapter is going and compare it, and there is some potential opportunity to still improving your student chapter. I think this is one opportunity for do that. I think at this workshop, I saw the theme that the theme for workshop is the development student chapter in energy transition. I think it's a hot issues right now. As we know, in our industry right now, is still seeking out fundamental financial and production due to the regress market post-pandemic in 2020 to 2022. The government of Indonesia, in our side, as we know, we also set the vision to increase the production up to 1 million barrel oil per day and 12 billion scf per day by 2030. But at the same time, the pressure to reduce emissions is also obvious, where the government of Indonesia also targeting the Indonesia become a net zero in 2060. I think this dual challenge will be the future for oil and gas industry, which you are now, or as a student, will become your future and also your challenge when you are entering the industry, specifically in Indonesia, as I was mentioned before, but I think it's work in also in other parts of the world in general terms. As you will lead the future of oil and gas industry, in conjunction with today's latter topic, also about leadership, teams and organization, I think that's also your opportunity to prepare yourself as a future leader and learn about the organization and to how to work as a team, besides your increasing your technical experience itself. Once again, I think I would appreciate very much your effort. And SPE Java Indonesia sections are very supportive to this kind of event. And I think this is your good opportunity for yourself to improve your soft skills also beside your technical knowledge. And please pay attention, have a good discussion, and take as much as from the speaker, ask the question, active participation. I think this is one of the rare opportunity you will have. I think that's all from my side. Have a great discussion. And thank you once again.
Thank you so much to the head region from SPE Java. Thank you so much for the remarkable opening. We highly appreciate your participation and collaboration with us. And now I'm glad to invite the SPE President of France to give their opening remarks for the Student Chapter Development Workshop. Mr. Olivier Lodého, without any further delay, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Noor. Good evening or good afternoon, everyone. That's most of you are coming are in Indonesia, so I remarked that it's already late for a Sunday evening. So I'm very honored to be with you for this opening on this event. I think that it's a very good initiative, and maybe if I can share with you a couple of lessons that I learned along my path in terms that could be useful for you as a tip. So I would like to share with you a couple of things because, as Mehdi said, you will be the key people for overcoming the challenge that we are overseeing in terms of providing energy to the world. So the couple of things that I would like to share with you is the fact that the first one is to be curious. Thanks having the curiosity, you will be able to go out your comfortable zone. You will be able to meet other people, to exchange with them, to develop your network, and behaving as such, you will be able to create be able to create an environment around you where the opportunity can arise by being curious. So that's for me the first main takeaway. So be curious and don't be afraid to go out your comfortable zone. That's the first thing. The second thing that I wanted to share with you is within a company, there are two kinds of behaviors that you need to get. The first one is to do what you say, because if without doing that, without behaving as such, it will be very hard to collaborate with you. So it's really important what you are saying. When you are saying something, do it. That people can therefore rely on you. And the second thing that when you are working onto an organization is to say what you do. So your line manager was to rely on you because you are doing what you're saying, but also you are saying what you are doing. And therefore you will be able to promote much more your work that you are doing. You will be able to be visible within your organizations and become a reliable people and a trusted people. So that for me, my key takeaway that I wanted to share with you as a life tip. I hope you will find it useful. And of course, don't give up and stay curious. So thank you very much. And I hope that you will enjoy your session. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Olivier, for the wonderful opening. It is such an honor to hear very insightful things from you.
So we already heard an outstanding opening from the head region of SPE Java and SPE President of France that welcomed us with warm hands. Next, we're having an amazing speaker that will give us a special presentation about leadership.
That's amazing. I would like to invite Ms. Cassandra Dewan, YMEC Chairperson and Audit, to Optimize Engineer at SLB, to present the topic Trailblazing Leadership, Building High-Performing Teams and Organizations.
Ms. Cassandra herself has a PhD in metallurgy, a fellowship in climate change, a master's degree in petroleum engineering, and a bachelor's degree in chemical and process engineering. And in terms of experience, she's the SPEYMEC chairperson, audit to optimize engineer at SLB, with an experience as a process engineer at Siemens Energy and process engineer at DNV. Without any further delay, Ms. Cassandra Dewan, the floor is yours.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Thank you for having me here. I'm going to try and share my screen. Please let me know if you're seeing it.
We have seen the presentation.
Okay, great. Oh, I need to go back. So this is the agenda for today. I try to cover as much as I can, but I know we have a time limit. So coming down to the end, maybe I'll just quickly skip through it. But basically, I want to give a brief introduction into what is leadership and the skills that are required, especially nowadays. You know, we talk a lot about the energy transition and digitalization. So the skills that are required in this changing times in order to be effective leaders. So the main question is, you know, what is leadership? And it's something that a lot of us aspire to be, or a lot of you all, especially within SB, are placed into roles to lead teams, right? So leadership is basically the ability to inspire and guide others towards a common goal while influencing and motivating them to achieve their full potential. And I think the key word there is influencing and motivating. So it involves taking charge, making decisions, and providing direction to a group or organization. Leadership has the power to transform individuals, organizations, and even societies. Effective leadership leads to increased productivity, improved teamwork, higher employee satisfaction, and ultimately the achievement of goals and objectives. So what is the difference between leadership and management? And, you know, back in the day, we spoke a lot about bosses, and nowadays we don't like to use the word boss, we use the word managers. And we prefer to use the word leadership in terms of management. And even though they are two distinct classes or two distinct words, they have interrelated concepts in the realm of organizational and team dynamics. So they share some commonalities, but they have different focuses and approaches. So this table highlights some key differences between leaders and managers. So while leadership and management have their distinctions, they are not mutually exclusive. So you can see they all have a focus, priority, team, and ethics. And the best outcomes are often achieved when leadership and management are integrated, with leaders providing inspiration and direction, while managers ensure efficient execution and coordination. So you need a balance of both in order to have successful outcomes. Now, what are the qualities of effective leaders? So the first is communication skills. So leaders possess the ability to influence others and shape the course of action. They build trust, communicate effectively, and engage in active listening. By leveraging their influence, leaders can rally support, build consensus, and bring about positive change. The next one is empathy or emotional intelligence. And effective leaders inspire and motivate others to perform at their best. Through their words, actions, and personal example, They instill confidence, enthusiasm, and a sense of purpose in their team members, encouraging them to go beyond their limits. Now, leaders must be able to make decisions, and some of decisions could be very difficult at times. So they're responsible for making tough decisions, often under challenging circumstances, and especially in the oil and gas industry where things are always changing, anything can happen in a moment, especially when you're working operations. You are often faced with making difficult decisions under pressure. So you have to have the ability to analyze the situation, gather information, and make informed choices. And this is critical to the success of your team and even for the organization. So they must consider various perspectives and weigh the potential risk and the benefit before making decisions. So you must be adaptable and flexible. And I think during the pandemic, we learned the importance of being adaptable, right? And leadership play a big role in that because they drive change and foster innovation. So leaders identify opportunities for growth, challenge, and the status quo, and they promote creativity and experimentation. They inspire others to embrace change and adapt to new circumstances, facilitating continuous improvement and organizational agility. And I think the main thing for a leader is to have a vision and have a strategy in order to achieve that vision, because nothing could be accomplished without knowing what your end goal is, right? So leaders provide a clear vision and a purpose to their followers, outlining a path towards success. They set goals, establish priorities, and create strategies to achieve them, thereby giving a sense of guidance and direction. And the main thing after vision, I think, is integrity and being able to be act in the right way, in an ethical way, when it comes to you making decisions and how your decisions can impact other people. So leadership understands the strengths and the weaknesses of their team members and effectively allocate tasks accordingly. They foster collaboration, promote a positive work culture, and create an environment that encourages growth and development. By empowering others, leaders enable individuals to reach their full potential, leading to enhanced team performance. So now we're going to look at leadership styles. So there are 6 different leadership styles, and everyone will have their own style of leading, and it could be influenced by many things. So I'm just going to describe a bit about each of these 6 type of leadership, and maybe you could think while I'm describing which one you are, and sometimes it could be a mix of 1 or 2 of these styles as well. And based on the situation, we adapt. So you might be autocratic leadership in one scenario, but then in another scenario, you might be a transformational leadership. And then that also comes back again to learning how to adapt to situations. So an autocratic leader, in this style, the leader makes decisions independently and exercise strict control over their team or organization. They provide clear instructions and expect immediate compliance. This style can be effective in situations that require quick decision-making or in highly structured environments. However, it can lead to reduced employee engagement and limit creativity. Democratic leadership. Democratic leadership involves their team members in decision-making and value their input and feedback. They encourage participation, collaboration, and shared responsibility. This style promotes a sense of ownership, fosters teamwork, and increases employee satisfaction. However, it can be time-consuming and may not be suitable for urgent or high-pressure situations. Laissez-faire leadership. Laissez-faire leaders provide significant freedom and autonomy to their team members. They delegate authority and allow individuals to make their own decisions and take initiative. This style can promote creativity, innovation, and personal growth. However, it may lead to a lack of direction or coordination if not implemented effectively. and some individuals may struggle with the absence of clear guidance. Transformational leadership. Transformational leaders inspire and motivate their team members to reach their full potential and exceed expectation. They communicate a compelling vision, lead by example, and create an environment of trust, support, and personal development. This style fosters high levels of engagement, creativity, and commitment. However, it requires strong communication and interpersonal skills to effectively inspire and influence others. Transactional leadership. Transactional leaders focus on setting clear expectations, providing rewards and recognition for desired performance, and administering consequences for poor performance. They establish clear structures, goals, and performance metrics. This style can be effective in maintaining discipline, achieving short-term goals, and maintaining routine tasks. However, it may be as effective in driving innovation or long-term growth. Servant leadership. Servant leadership prioritizes the need of their team members and strive to support the development of them. They focus on serving others, cultivating a culture of empathy, trust, and collaboration. This style promotes employee well-being, personal growth, and a sense of purpose. However, it requires leaders to be attentive and responsive to the needs of their team members. So now I'm going to talk a bit about building high-performance teams, and I know this is important, especially within SP, where we do a lot of volunteer work or where we're always working on projects, and it's important to understand how we could motivate our team or encourage them to perform the task that is ahead of us. So when it comes to building and leading high-performance team, this is a very critical skill, and it can be very difficult at times, but it's important to understand the key strategies that I'm going to talk about or that's listed on this slide. So as mentioned earlier, it's important to have a clear vision and goals and communicate that to the team. So they need to know, okay, what we're working on, this is the end goal. This is the purpose of why we're doing this, and list the goals and maybe even list some timelines. So they have something to work towards and make sure that everyone understands or they're aligned with the objective, get their feedback, what they want to change, what they think the team could do better. So this is where your communication skills come in, because it's very important to listen and collaborate with the team. Team composition. When building your team for projects, it's important that there's diversity. There's diversity in terms of skills, that everyone could bring something to the team, right? Diversity in experience, a good background. So you have some people that's very good in communication with social media, some people that's good with planning, right? And that they all complement each other in some way or the other, so that they will be easier to work together. And it's also important to look for people that demonstrate good teamwork and collaboration and have a growth mindset, because this will help with ensuring they have the cultural fit to promote teamwork. So the trust and psychological safety. And I think trust is also important when working in teams, because it's important for the team to trust each other. So you as a leader have to make sure and foster that environment as well, where your team members, they feel safe and they feel very comfortable, whether it is to take risk or to share their ideas. They can speak up if they don't agree with something, to tell you how they think it should be done. And even to challenge each other. And, we don't always have to agree. Sometimes we agree to disagree. And this sometimes bring about more growth within the team, or bring about more ideas when everyone is more open to sharing and knowing that we don't have to all agree to do the same thing. Having different viewpoints and respecting each other is one of the main things when it comes to this. And as a leader, your goal is always to lead by example. And this will also help to create more opportunities for the team to build trust with each other. Having clear roles and responsibility, I think this is one of the most important things as well, because everyone needs to understand what their role is in the team, what they bring to the team, and this will avoid any confusion between members or duplicate of the work that is being done. And it's important to make sure that each team member understand the task that is at hand and they take ownership, right? So if you're assigned to something, you give them whether it's deadlines, and in every meeting, they take ownership by giving the updates of where they are with that specific task. And don't create too much expectations as well, so that they don't feel stressed or they feel pressured, but just make sure that everyone has accountability, and this will help to prevent any misunderstandings as well within the group. So collaboration and communication, and as a leader, it's important for you to encourage this, to constantly encourage collaboration between the team members, as well as effective communication, and have a very foster, open, and inclusive culture, so that everyone feels that they could speak up, their voice is valued, that they could give their opinions without being judged. And it's always important to have regular team meetings, especially when you're now starting off a project. This is something that works with me. You could have weekly meetings or bi-weekly meetings. And then once the team understands their roles, and understand the activities and things start moving along, you could decrease this to maybe monthly meetings. So establishing regular meetings encourage everyone to work together and to brainstorm as well. Let's say there's a hiccup in one of the activities or things are going smoothly. It gives you the opportunity then and there to take charge and change the path so that you remain on track. Continuous learning and development. As a leader, it's important for you to support the continuous growth and development of your team, and especially in the work environment, provide opportunities for them to learn, to grow, to upskill. Nowadays, is within the oil and gas industry, and any job or any industry, is important as an individual as well to have this growth mindset and this culture of continuous improvement, because we always have to continuously be learning new things, learning new skills. As you can see, our industry is ever evolving, ever changing. So not because you finish your degree means you know everything. Not because you have a master's again means you know everything. You have to always be trying to learn more, especially now with the energy transition, learning more about the different types of sources of energy, whether it's solar, wind, hydrogen, so that you could have a conversation about this, whether you're at a SP event or in a work environment, as well as to help you move into that direction in the future. Empowerment and delegation. So it's very important to empower your team members. And, sometimes as leaders or even members of your team, they might not know in the future that they could be a leader. They might be shy, they might be reserved. And your job as a leader is to create more leaders. So if you see the potential in someone to be a leader, it is up to you to speak to that person, give them more tasks, give them responsibilities, and help develop that leadership skills. So for example, in student chapters, you have the student president, then you may have the incoming president, and you have a structure. So you should start looking from the start of the term, who could be the potential president in 2 years from now, 3 years from now. So as a leader, that is sort of your role, to always have continuity when you leave your role. Performance management. So again, you have to set clear expectations and always provide regular feedback to the team. So this is why the weekly meetings are important. So if you think you're not achieving the goals, you let the team know, and then you try to figure out what else needs to be done for them to achieve those goals. And then it's important to provide coaching and mentorship as well. Recognize and celebrate. So if you see your team doing well, they are achieving their goals ahead of time, or they completing a milestone, it's important for you to celebrate that, right? Let them know they did a good job. And then once you celebrate these little things with your team, it motivates them more, and it boosts the morale, and it strengthens the team cohesion. And this will just encourage them to continue to work and want to perform well. And I think the hardest part of being a leader sometimes is the conflict resolution, because you have to know how to be able to address conflict within the team, and to do so in a prompt and constructive manner, because sometimes you can't leave conflict to keep going on. You might feel uncomfortable, you might not know how to address the situation, but your role as a leader is to, as soon as you see a problem, to nip it in the bud, right? And always encourage open dialogue between your team in order to facilitate solving of these problems. So leading change, and I think in today's world, a lot of leaders are facing this. How do they lead with all the talks that's going on, after the pandemic? Now we're going through energy transition. And I think this is a critical skill for all leaders to have, because it's always important for organizations and teams to adapt and evolve with the changing times. And these are just some key strategies that can be used for effective leadership. So you have establish a compelling vision, communicate openly and frequently, create a sense of urgency, build a coalition of support, empower and involve others, address resistance. And I think it is important to focus a bit here on address resistance, because not everyone is always open to change. And, when stuff starts to change, you're going to have fear within the team, especially when for example, during the pandemic, a lot of people were afraid of losing their jobs. So as a leader, you were faced with that. A lot of your employees coming to you concerned that, they might lose their job, or they might lose their salaries, and the impact it will have on their family. And this is where you being an empathic leader comes in, right? Being able to listen to them, being able to make them feel comfortable to address their concerns, provide the necessary information to make them feel at ease. So in any organization, in any situation, once there's change, you're going to get some sort of resistance from some of your members. Not everyone is open to change. Not everyone deals with change the same way. So it's important to know how to address change during difficult times. Lead by example, anticipate and manage risk. And I think this is something that's very important in our oil and gas industry, because when you're in the field, you never know what's going to happen. And sometimes things does happen, right? Or you have to predict before time, okay, I'm going to fix this piece of equipment, or I'm going to do some sort of turnaround. I have to be able to anticipate what are the risks involved, or what are the potential things that could go wrong during a turnaround, and how to manage these risks. And a lot of times during change, you have the likelihood of more risk. So it's more pressure on you as a leader to be able to adapt and address these risks. Provide resources and support, and evaluate and celebrate success. And I think during changing times, it's always important to celebrate the success, because the team is already under so much stress and so much worry of what could happen, that any little success, as small as it may be, is worth celebrating. Sorry, my cat is making a lot of noise behind me. So emotional intelligence and leadership. So emotional intelligence plays a significant role in effective leadership. It requires the ability to recognize, understand, and manage one's own emotions, as well as to recognize and emphasize with emotions of others. And this is where being an empathic leader is very important, right? And this emotional intelligence is not something we are taught about in school or even in classrooms. It's something that we practice leaders or even better team members. So leaders who possess high emotional intelligence are more likely to create a positive and productive work environment, foster strong relationships, and inspire their teams to achieve exceptional results. Developing emotional intelligence is an ongoing process that involves self-reflection, self-improvement, and continuous learning. By honing their emotional intelligence skills, leaders can enhance their effectiveness and create a positive impact on their teams and organizations. And one thing as a leader, I think is good to get feedback from your members and be open to feedback, whether it's negative or positive, because the positive parts of the feedback, you'll be like, okay, I'm doing something right. But the negative part will help you know where you need to improve. And different teams are managed differently. So what might work for managing one team might not work for managing another team. So that's why it's important to get that feedback so that you could be like, okay, so this is not working. Maybe I need to change, or maybe I need to do this. Even in terms of emotions or in terms of cultures. So every country might have a different culture. Every region might have a different culture and how they approach situations, how they deal with things. And that's where your emotional intelligence comes in, because you might have a person from your team from a different region, and the way they handle situations there or the maybe different things. So again, it's very important to always, evaluate yourself, reflect, and think on how to improve and become a better leader. So ethical leaderships. So ethical leadership refers to the practice of leading with integrity, fairness, and moral principles. Ethical leaders prioritize doing what is right, just, and ethical, both in their personal conduct and in their leadership roles. Some key aspects of ethical leaders are integrity, ethical decision making, respect for others, ethical culture and compliance, social responsibility, courage and accountability, stakeholder focus, and long-term perspective. Ethical leadership is essential for building trust, fostering a positive work culture, and achieving sustainable success. By embodying ethical principles, leaders can inspire and motivate their team, attract and retain top talent, and earn the respect of trust of the stakeholders. So in anything we do, I think is very important to be ethical and to do it with integrity. Because at the end of the day, all we have as people is our integrity, is what people are going to say about us when you walk into a room or when you're not even in that room. So at least as leaders, we always have to maintain our integrity in any situation and don't do something that could spoil your name, or don't do something that you think, okay, it will make me look good, but it means I'm doing something bad that could affect the company or could affect my team. So that's the main takeaway I want to give up in terms of ethical leadership. Just always do everything with integrity. Leadership in a digital age, I think is important to touch on this a bit, because the future is digitalization and sustainability. And a lot of leaders will be put in a position now where they need to lead teams into the digitalization age, right? And it's a bit of a difference for us because it encompasses skills and mindsets and strategies that are required to effectively navigate and lead in this increasing technology-driven and interconnected world. So some key aspects that we need to look at will be technological literacy. And I think our generation below us, they will be a bit more advanced with this compared to the much older generation, because we were brought up with the age of computers, cell phones. Now we have so many different trainings and programmings, as well as, chat GPT is a big thing. So I don't think technological literacy would be a big issue for the younger generations when it comes to leading in the digital age. I just think it's important for us to understand the potential that these digital tools and platforms have, and leverage it to our advantage, right? Use it to help us make the right decisions. Adaptability and agility. And agility is something you hear a lot now in especially the project management world. And it's basically for digital leaders to embrace this change and adapt adapt and be agile in their approach. So they must be comfortable with uncertainty and can quickly adjust their strategies and plans in response to technological advancements, market shifts, and evolving customer needs. And it's important to be a visionary thinker, because, for example, in the future, robots might take over our jobs, right? Or we could be in the office and we have a robot on the FPSO or on a platform doing our inspections for us, even maybe manning the operations. So it's very important to be a visionary leader in today's world. Data-driven decision-making. So in digital age, leaders have the access to a vast amount of data. And nowadays we're trying to figure out how to console this data and make it even easier for our clients, because sometimes we have the same data being repeated over and over. And it's important for leaders to understand data analytics and the insights that we could get from this to help us make better decisions. So we need to know how to use the data to identify trends, make informed predictions, and drive evidence-based strategies. Collaboration and networks, I think, is something that's important and something that we need to learn to leverage, especially as YPs and students, how to use our networks to our advantage. And digital leaders, they need to understand the power of collaboration and network in the digital age that we are entering now. So they must be able to foster a culture of collaboration, both within the organization and external, right? Whether it's with the partners, the customers, or other stakeholders. And they have to be able to leverage a digital platform to connect and collaborate effectively across geographical boundaries. So nowadays, we sit in our homes, we work a lot from home or even in the office, and we work with people from around the world. Today, I'm in South America, and some of you guys are in Europe, and some of you are in Asia. So as a leader, we have to be able to know how to work in these situations and balance it as well. Customer centricity is a big topic within companies, especially in digitalization. When you go to conferences, you hear a lot of these companies that are pushing software talk about customer centricity. And basically, digital leaders need to prioritize their customer experience and understand and meet the customer needs. So basically, this is what customer centricity is. It's all about the customer and understanding how you could build products or software to address their needs. Continuous learning, which we touched a bit on earlier. Cybersecurity and risk management. We all know the importance of cybersecurity. Ethical considerations, which we touched on a bit earlier, and empowering digital transformation. So digital leaders must empower their teams to embrace digital transformation. And I think nowadays it's a bit easier than it may have been 10, 20 years ago, because we all understand the importance of digitization and having a culture of innovation as well as experimenting. So leadership in a digital age requires a forward-thinking mindset. So it's the willingness to embrace technology and the ability to adapt to a rapidly changing landscape. So by embracing digital opportunities, fostering a digital culture, and leading with agility and vision, leaders could drive successful digital transformation and position their organization for sustainable growth in the digital age. So leadership development and growth. So as a leader, you should be able to have a growth mindset and be intentional in the process of enhancing your leadership skills, knowledge, and abilities over time. So it involves continuous learning, self-reflection, and practice. And it comes with experience as well, right? As you gain more experience, you become a more effective and impactful leader, and you learn from your mistakes. And it's something to always keep in mind that you're going to make mistakes, and it's okay to make mistakes, but the main thing is to learn from it and not repeat your mistakes. And these are just some of the aspects that are important for you to become a better leader. And the main one I want to focus on, because we've touched on some of these previously or earlier, is on mentoring and coaching. It's very important, especially now in your careers, as students, as YPs, to have a mentor and to have a coach and to know the difference, because your mentor will be someone you go to for advice, someone that you need to understand how something works or learn more about the different skills that you may need. But your coach is someone that would actually teach you or guide you or help you to become better at whatever role you want to have in the future. So, and it is important to have these throughout your career, right? So start now looking for a mentor, looking for a coach, and you can have more than one mentor and meet with them and figure out how you could be better and how you could get to where you want to be. So inspirational leadership. Inspirational leadership refers to the ability to inspire and motivate others to achieve their best and exceed their own expectations. Inspirational leaders possess a vision, charisma, and the ability to connect with their followers on an emotional level. So these are just some of the key aspects of inspirational leadership. And as you see, as you continue talking about leadership, is more or less the same points that comes up with having a vision, having empathy, emotional intelligence. So inspiration leadership has a profound impact on individuals and organizations. It fosters a positive and motivated work environment, drives innovation and creativity, and encourages personal and professional growth. By embodying these aspects of inspirational leadership, leaders can inspire their teams to achieve extraordinary results and create a lasting positive impact. So just to close, I have a quote here from Denise, and I want to remind you guys that leadership is service. Anytime we are placed in a position to lead, is basically serving our community, especially in SP, is service to our membership, is service to our volunteers. And it's an opportunity where we could help to inspire other people and to motivate them and to help them to reach their full potential. So being a leadership is a very key role, and it's something that should not just be taken lightly, but very seriously once you're in that position and understand the impact you could have on other people's lives. So I want to thank you guys for the opportunity to share a bit of what leadership is with you today, and for inviting me to participate. I really appreciate it, and I hope you guys learned something from my presentation.
Indeed. Thank you so much, Ms. Cassandra, for sharing such invaluable insights on this topic. I personally learned a lot. I took many notes, and these notes were a key, especially for us, the board officers of every student chapter, as every one of us is having a different role and we're all having different responsibilities. So the notes I took from you, I think they're a key for every one of us to succeed in our message and in our missions. So thank you so much.
After we heard about such a great presentation, it's time to move on to the question and answer session. This is your chance to ask any question you have about the topic and clarify any doubts you may have for 10 minutes. For those of you who want to ask some questions, kindly raise your hand or leave your questions in the chat box.
I see a question from Olshay. Olshay, you can go ahead.
Okay, thank you so much, Cassandra. My question to you will be this, at least it's something that generally happens in IFP. From your presentation, you mentioned something about the team composition, which is very, very important, I believe. Well, I think in our case here, which I think has been happening for a couple of years due to the nature of the school, is that you generally seem to, let's say for the new board that will be coming next for the next session, we send out adverts for the volunteer positions, who wants to be the president, vice president, and this. So basically, the team just comes not necessarily planned. What advice would you give for maybe people that are in that kind of situation where you really do not have total control of your team composition? I believe at some point in everybody's life we'll face things like that. So how do you advise that we manage that kind of situation?
Okay, so I could give an example in terms of incoming. So when I was Petrobol lead, something I did was I created a structure and a committee, and I had mentors, the lead, and co-lead. So my idea was the mentors would mentor the leads, so they would have an idea of what they're supposed to be doing, or in terms of maybe they needed someone to talk to about ideas off of, right? And then the co-lead, the lead job was to mentor that co-lead, so that the next year the lead will go on to do something else or go on to another project, and then it'll be the co-lead job to fill that lead. But the lead will still also remain as a mentor in case the co-lead needed help. So I think that is one way of succession planning, is to always have a mentor, a lead, and a co-lead. In terms of, so for example, in YMEC, when I was incoming chair and I had to choose my team, something that was very important for me was gender balance. So I wanted as much as I could to have 50% girls and 50% guys, because in SPE, even in my company, you see more men and women. And I believe as women, we have to make that extra effort to ensure that gender balance. And something else that I wanted was to have at least one person from each region, because I think, again, diversity is important, and having different ideas and different cultures. So when you guys are looking for the incoming board, the incoming president or whatnot, I don't know if maybe there's a change in students, because maybe I don't know how long the program, I know IFP is mainly masters, so maybe it's 1 year, 2 years. But my suggestion is, if you're the current president, you should be from now trying to recruit the incoming president or incoming team, so that you have a continuity in your work as well. Because then if you have a new team coming in every year, it means that if you start a project this year, it might not get continued the next year, because then every incoming team will have their own idea of what they want to get done or whatnot. So try somehow to have that sort of mentorship, or start selecting or seeing potential people who could be the incoming new team, incoming president or whatnot. So you have some continuity within the student chapter as well as mentorship.
Okay, thank you very much for the very detailed answer. Now let's move on to the second question from Abdul. You may unmute.
Okay. Thank you very much for the presentation, Ms. Cassandra. Please, can you confirm that you can hear me?
I can hear you a little bit, but go ahead.
Okay, thank you very much. Please, I just want to ask you to give a better explanation between who your mentor is and who your coach is. You know, there are some situations whereby you have some issues bothering you, some private issues bothering you. So, are you to share such issue with your mentor or your coach? And how can you develop professional skills? Are you to develop? Is it easy to develop professional skills from your mentor or from your coach? So I just need a better explanation between who your mentor is and who your coach is. Who can be your mentor and who can be your coach? Thank you.
Okay, so I wouldn't say to go with your personal problems to your coach. I think your coach should be more professional. So let's say you're working in an organization, your coach could be your senior engineer or even your manager, right? The person that will help you develop your technical skills. The person that's going to have access to resources that you need to become a more technical person in terms of your experience. Your mentor helps more with your soft skills, teaching you about leadership, teaching you about networking, teaching about communication skills. You have a problem in the workplace or even at home, you could go to your mentor, ask for advice, whether it's even for you want to know an next course to do or you want to find out a job or application, something like that. That's where your mentor comes in. It's more of a personal one-on-one connection. Your coach will be more of a professional. And then above your coach is where we have your advocate. So your advocate is someone that could be above your coach. So maybe it could be the manager of your manager, but this is the person that when they come to promotion or when that person is within a room, they could talk highly about you. They could say, oh, you have that position available. I recommend this person. I would think this person should get that position or this person should get promoted, right? So advocates are more when you're in a company already and you're growing your career and you have your network, that's where you get your advocates. But your mentor doesn't have to be from your job. It could be from within SBE, it could be from church, it could be even your own parents. Right? My dad is like a mentor to me. And then your coach would be most likely someone in your technical field. I hope that helped clarify the answer.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you. I see a question from Mohammed as well. Mohammed, you can go ahead.
Thank you, everyone, for this workshop, and thank you so much, Cassandra, for speaking in this presentation. I would like to ask just a question. If a person is in leadership role and they come to a point maybe they don't maybe have maybe a new idea or they cannot implement it by themselves, where do they seek maybe more ideas in the future? How can they have access to that? Do they meet with other presidents? Do they discuss this with their SPE student section? Is sometimes also for hard a little bit to get more sponsorship if we're going to participate in international projects such as the drill robotics and other competitions. So it's kind of like sometimes a little bit hard to have that initiative thought of having a new idea or a new project, and then also leaving a legacy, letting the next boards to come to hold that project and excel. So where do we get new ideas always?
Okay. So in terms of new ideas, if you can get it within your student chapter yourself. So if you're the leader and you need new ideas, the first place you should go to is your team, right? So you talk to them and you get a feedback. And if you guys can't come something new, maybe talk to your section, right? Go to your section chair and said, okay, so we're trying to develop a new idea. We're trying to come up with something. What is your advice? Or what are you guys doing on the section level that we could participate in or we could contribute? And at the section level, it'll be easier for them to get sponsorship as well. And then another option will be collaborating with other student chapters, like what you guys are doing here. And I highly recommend collaboration, especially outside of your country, outside your region. because it gives you guys, helps you to build your network, right? And it also helps you to get exposure again to the diversity and to understand the cultures of different countries and even languages. You know, so if you're not getting it within your student chapter, go to the section and, you know, go to other student chapters and ask to collaborate, ask to be more involved and build your network. It's very important to build your network. And when you're writing those student chapter reports every year, it's something we look at. We look to see what big events you all did, whether you all collaborated with other sections or other student chapters, especially if it's like around the world, right? So don't feel like you need to stay within your student chapter. Be open to collaborating with other student chapters and talking as well. And even you could post on LinkedIn if you need an idea. LinkedIn is a very useful tool, especially because you're building your network there.
Thank you very much for the answer. Let's continue to the final question from Jude. You may unmute.
All right, can you confirm if you can hear me?
Yes.
Thank you, Cassandra. Thank you for your presentation. And my question goes like this. My question is that what if you're in a situation where you are faced with the challenge of either doing the right thing, or that is to say, either taking the best decision or going with what most of your team members are suggesting? I know you said you've talked about different types of leaders, but I just want to get this right. Is it better to always do the right thing or to do what most of your teammates or members are suggesting? Thank you.
Oh, that's a difficult question. So my answer will be always do the right thing, but listen to your team because you might think is the right thing and they might not agree with you. So, you know, have that, again, open discussion, communication, and you guys try to decide what would be the best approach to do. But you don't want to be that autocratic leader where you're always right and you think your opinion matters the most. So yeah, communicate. And if sometimes it's okay to compare, right? The advantages and disadvantages. If we go with one way, what is the advantage and disadvantage? If we go with the other way, what is the disadvantage and advantages? And weigh the options and choose which one you think will be the best. But you will be faced with these challenges, right? As a leader, and it's just knowing how to cope with it.
Very well, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much, Ms. Cassandra. I see some questions in the Q&A session, but we are sorry, we are short of time. So with that, we would like to conclude our Q&A session. I hope that everyone found it informative and clarifying, just as I did. And now we would like to give a memento of appreciation to you, Ms. Cassandra. It was our pleasure really to have you with us and gain some insights from your experience.
To remember
you
this
guys so
delightful event, let's take some documentation. So for the participants, you can turn on your camera and then we will wait for a minute. Okay, it has been 1 minute. So it seems that most of the participants have turned on your camera. So in my count to 3, 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
Thank you so much again. And now we shall continue to the next session, which is going to be the roundtable discussion.
Here we are, finally at the roundtable discussion. I would like to say thank you to all the participants for staying with us until now. So, without any longer, we will read out the procedures and start today's roundtable discussion. So, for the technicalities, first we will spin the wheel and choose 3 student chapters to answer the question on the screen. Second, one chapter will get 1 minute to convey their answers.
Okay, let's start our discussion. So our first topic for today will be, what are some of the key challenges that your student chapter faces in organizing events and activities, and how can these challenges be overcome? So let's go spin the wheel and see the participants for this question. Okay, so our first speaker is gonna be SPEML student chapter. Okay, let's see the second one. We will read all of them and then we go back to answering the question. Second, we have SPE BUK student chapter. And let's spin it again to see who will be the third. It's SPE MUET SZAB student chapter. I'll just proceed with MUET. Okay, let's go back to the question and start answering one by one. So SPEML student chapter, you can go ahead. I'm not sure, can the operators confirm if they are here or no? Otherwise, the other 2 student chapters that I mentioned can just raise their hands and then I'll choose one of them to answer the question one by one. Okay, go ahead, Mohammed. I see you raise your hand.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's nice to be here with you. I'm representing SPE BUK Bayero University, Kano. So the major challenge actually we're facing here in BUK in terms of organizing events is funding. We have a serious challenge in sourcing funds. And I think one of the ways we can overcome this problem is by organizing fundraising activities where we can invite giant IOCs to come and be part of that fundraising activity. Also from alumni too, we can generate some funds and maybe we can collect dues from the members, that's the members of the local chapter. So I think these are some of the ways we can overcome that challenge.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mohammed. MUET University, are you here? Okay. As they are not here. Okay, you can go ahead. Sandra, you can go ahead.
Thank you very much. In my opinion, there are a few challenges for any chapter to organizing events and activity, such as there is a first challenge is that you have sufficient finance and fund to organizing such events. Second one is that we have also a good technical resources person available, because there are a lot of difficulties we keep in our country, that technical persons are at the field locations. They are unable to come and visit physically and giving us a session in an effective way. While virtual sessions can be possible, but there is a lot of technical aspects which can be faced by during virtual sessions due to internet connections. But in my opinion, physically sessions can give more enhancement to the students for their effective knowledge. So, and also if we have a strong collaboration with the other international chapters, then it can be helpful to connect with them and to know about that how they tackle the different challenges faced by their chapters. So we can implement those solutions to overcome the challenges in our chapter as well as.
Thank you so much, Sander. And now let's move to the second question.
Okay, I will read out the second question. How do you involve and engage members in your student chapter? And what strategies or initiatives have been successful in increasing member participation? Okay, now we'll begin the spin wheel. So the first lucky student chapter is SPUAE University SC. Okay, let's now begin to the second student chapter. So the second student chapter is SPEU PPA. And the third student chapter is SP Tashkent SC. Okay, so to make sure that these three student chapters are here, you guys may raise your hands first. Okay, let's see here. Since the SPUAE is not here, maybe let's start for the SPEU PPA first.
Okay, hello everyone. I'm Miko Aji from the University of Post Student Chapter. First of all, I would like to say that the problematic in our student chapter is the fact that there is actually not a lot of interest in the SPE, and that is because the members of our SPE is usually students from the Geoenergies master's degree and, well, master's program actually, sorry. And the thing is, not a lot of people are interested in petroleum engineering anymore. So the strategy that we've been deploying since the start of our tenure is to convince people that the SPE is not just about the oil and gas industry, that it is actually, we discuss and we talk about all types of energies and that will allow us to collaborate no matter what our point of interest is. And the initiatives, it's just to actually just go to classes and talk to people and present them with all the benefits and the advantages of being a member of the SPE. And I think that's all I can say from myself. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the insightful answer from Nico. So let's now move on to the UAE University.
Yes. To involve and engage members, we have to use very initiative strategies. To use them, we have to we have to no, SPE is not only just benefits and just using strategies, but it's to bring members from all around the university. Students in our university has been, not trying to understand what SPE is. In our university, we majorly do events, and students do not primarily know what is the purpose of the event, but we try to be as optimistic and to strategies that or initiatives that we use is basically try to as much be in the student mind and try to be as hopeful for them that SP is a very, very good community, and we try to bring students to join and be happy and optimistic.
Okay, thank you very much. Now let's go to the third question.
Okay, so I'll be reading the third question before going to spinning the wheel. So what are some innovative ways your student chapter has collaborated with industry professionals or local SPE sections? Let's go spin the wheel. Okay, so first we have the SPE University of Bahrain student chapter. And then let's see. It's SPE ITS student chapter. And let's see the third one for this question. Okay, so it's Imperial College student chapter. Could you please raise your hands, the student chapter mentioned, so that we start one by one answering this question and discussing this topic? We will wait for 20 seconds for the student chapters to raise their hands. Student chapter give his other student chapters, please. If you have any idea, you can raise your hands. Okay, I see Ali from the University of Bahrain. You raised your hand. You can go ahead.
Hi everyone. Is my voice clear?
Yes, you're audible.
Okay, thank you. Okay, what's some the methods your chapter industry? Recently, like maybe last week, we had our chapter is not very old, just like 2 years old. I mean, our student chapter. So last week we had our first collaboration with the technical section here in Bahrain. It was an SPE distinguished lecture, and it was combined with recognition of ceremony for our chapter, and it was a good opportunity to network with the industry people. Like there were the directors and also the chairman of the national companies here. So we get to meet them and know them. That's one of the collaborations that we had with the professional section. And also we had like some seminars with professionals.
Thank you so much, Ali, and we wish you the best of luck for your student chapter as well.
Thank you.
Okay, any other student chapter would like to add? Okay, I see Sander from MUET. You can go ahead.
I think student collaboration should be done with the industry and local SP section. We have a different ways, like if we have arranged any technical presentations or any technical competition, so we invite our industrial profession as a judge. So by this way we can collaborate with the industry to our SP chapters. So as industry professional can judge and also give us technical guidance to our students regarding their work.
Thank you so much. I see Mohammed from UH. You can share your insights.
Yes, my name is Mohammed Houter, and I'm the president for the University of Houston Student Chapter. One of the great things that we implemented this year, and hopefully it becomes like a tradition moving forward in the next upcoming years, is we collaborate with our section, with SPE Gulf Coast section, with a mega high school event where we brought all high school students from our region, from our Houston greater area. And we got people, industry professionals from all companies that you can possibly imagine, from the big operators to all the service companies. And they were all answering all of the high school students' concerns that they had about the energy industry, about the oil and gas industry, and how can we reduce emissions. So it was something that really helped us get visibility and really highlight the concerns of the next generation. So that really helped us kind of like get more attention. And not to mention, it was good also marketing for SPE, starting these kids, talking to them since they are in high school, coming into college. So it was something great that we did with our local section.
I think this innovative idea is a key for young professionals and for high school students as well. I will take the Yamima from the University of Indonesia. You can go ahead.
Okay, thank you, Nur. So from UI this year, we are proposing a creative collaborative event with the professionals and SP Java as our local SP section. The creative collaborative event this year that has been conducted is one of the Miss IS. It is an annual energy symposium. So those events not only consisting of competitions and seminars, but it's also consisting of like books and other opportunity that could make us connect with professionals. So I think we could make our event more creative and proposing more creative event. I think that's all from me.
Thank you so much. We will take the last one from Nicole. Nicole from PSU, you can unmute yourself.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Okay.
Yeah, you are.
Some activities we've had last year were actually many events like Pet Essentials, Pet Rush, Trans 3 training, and that's somehow a way for us to encourage our students to join our events. For connections with industry professionals, we used the help of our alumni and of course other professionals as a speaker and a sponsor to our event. So last year we had successfully conducted about 4 events, including our student members in our chapter as well. Also, we had a collaboration with other student chapters, more on online, because the setup here in the Philippines was just transitioning from a pandemic to post-pandemic. But also we have a Philippine Oil and Gas Summit. Hopefully we can conduct it this year. It will be having 5 competitions under it. But lately we had a major event conducted. We had 10 competitions under that event, and we tapped industry professionals again as our speakers and as well as our sponsors. So yes.
Thank you for sharing your ideas, everyone. I'm learning also. We all learn from each other, so thank you so much. And now let's jump to the other topic.
So for the 4th question, how do you ensure diversity and inclusion within your student chapter? What initiatives have you implemented to foster a welcoming and inclusive environment? Now let's move on to the spin wheel. For the first student chapter, SPE UPN SC. For the second student chapter, SB University of Houston SC. And for the third student chapter goes to SB University of Nigeria SC. Okay, for the three student chapters, you guys may raise your hand first so we know that you are here in the Zoom. Okay, now I see here is Mohammed, who may answer the question.
Yes, to cover up the question here, we take pride at the University of Houston that our university is the #1 most diverse university in Texas. So by default, we have a really diverse group. Two things that we really wanted, that we implemented actually with UHSPE is we included women in energy, as well as diversity and inclusion, where we had collaborative events with the diversity and inclusion committees, as well as the women in energy, where we brought all women for a whole info session, women who are taking leadership as well. I believe also Cassandra was also part of that as well. So we wanted to do just to bring women from outside, as well as like women who are also taking leadership. And for diversity, it's pretty much we have a very diverse university. I have yet to see two people from the same color. It's pretty much very diverse, and we really take pride in that. So involving diversity inclusion committee within your student chapter, as well as having WIN as Women in Energy, I think that's going to bring a lot of perspective and a lot of diversity and inclusion to include everybody in your organization.
Thank you so much for the answer. That is a very great way to promote diversity and inclusion, especially because engineering is a profession that is very male dominated at the moment. So the way that you guys promote women in energy and provide speakers for that, and also people of color, and you guys basically promote diversity in your student chapter. So I applaud that. Thank you very much. Now we go to the next participant. Simon, you may unmute.
Okay. How SPE University of Nigeria student chapter has been able to tackle the issue of diversity and inclusion. We have, first of all, is to note that SPE collaborates with some other organizations, some other societies that are like student bodies, some other student body societies in the University of Nigeria, such as the APWEN for women in engineering. We collaborate with them, we liaise with them, and we try to include them in the activities that SPE is doing, because at the end of the day, they are all engineers. So that's what we're trying to do. And Nigeria is a very diverse place. And so with that, we're able to, see different cultures and see different backgrounds, and, not necessarily like net anybody, but include everyone in everything we are doing at every time. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the answer. That is a great way to ensure diversity and inclusion, especially because Nigeria is a very diverse place. So thank you so much for the welcoming and inclusive way. So let's go to the next participant from UPN. Muhammad, you may unmute.
Okay, thank you for the opportunities from SPUPNSC. So for the diversity, as we know, we are in the Yogyakarta, that's the city of students. So there are so many different there are diversity in our city. So with that, our members is consist with the so many diversities, and so with that we also empowering, and we have the event that our members and also board and staff will have the good interaction, and also they will interact each other, so they will have a good relation and also good work environment in our organizations. And also we have the collaboration with other student chapters that will support them to interact with each other also.
Okay, thank you so much for the answer. Now I think it's time to move on to the next topic.
For the operator, can you move to what are some of the most successful fundraising strategies employed by your student chapter to support activities and events? Let's go spin the wheel now. Okay, we have Petroleum Gas University of Posti student chapter. Let's use the second. And we have also BSU student chapter. Guys, I would ask you to please raise your hands from now as we are spinning the wheel to make sure that you are here with us in the Zoom. We also have PDEU student chapter. I would suggest to spin the wheel for another student chapter. If you can do that, the operator, please. Yes, could you please spin the wheel to take from the fourth student chapter? Okay, we have Kata chapter Pakistan. Okay, if you are here, could you please raise your hands? Paula from BSU, you can go ahead.
Yes, good evening, everyone. Good evening here in the Philippines. For our student chapter, the successful fundraising strategies that we conduct is through having a collection of SPE merchandises that we sell to the students in order to support our students who participate in the competitions in the other countries like Petrobol and other smart competitions. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Paula. Thank you. I think this is one of the effective ideas. I'm waiting for the other student chapters. Okay, I see the others.
May I just volunteer?
Yeah. I was about to give you the permission. Yeah, go ahead, Mohammed.
Yes, I'm sorry. I didn't want to speak on this, but fundraising is really critical for almost every student chapter, and I really wanted to highlight this because one thing that really was a good, successful fundraising event, at least for our student chapter, is we identified what is a good sport in your area. For instance, if the place where you're from, they like to play soccer, they like to play basketball, they like to play golf. So try to host an annual tournament for them and try to bring as many companies as sponsors, as many people to register for the event. That really helped us big time because in our student chapter for the third year now, we've been hosting our golf tournament where we brought a lot of companies to sponsor our student chapter and then in the same time promote our chapter and get a whole lot of participants in it. And that really helped I can say our bank look really good for at least like for sponsorship and for fundraising event. So try to identify a certain sport within your region, host a tournament, and make it traditional every year. And I think that really helped us a lot. So this is just something I wanted to give it out, and hopefully a lot of chapters can learn a lot from that.
Thank you for sharing. I think this is a good initiative that will help every student chapter, because I believe that every student chapter is facing the same problem, which is fundraising. So thank you so much. Does anyone have to share any idea? Otherwise, we go to the next question. Okay, let's go.
Okay, for the sixth question, how do you promote technical learning and skill development among your members? And what workshops, training sessions, or technical competitions have been effective in this regard? So now we will begin this spin wheel. For the first student chapter, goes to SPE Federal University of Technology, Minna SC. For the second student chapter, goes to SPE UAGRM SC. And for the final student chapter, SPE ITV SC. For all of the student chapters that have been mentioned, you may raise your hands and answer the question. Okay. I see here is Abel. You may unmute.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Sorry, good day, everyone. So for Federal University of Technology, MENA chapter, we face a challenge having technical persons around our environment due to the geographical location of our school, but we try to maximize the online platform by organizing technical programs. And we've had a handful of them. Within the past 1 year, we've had programs on Microsoft Excel. We've had programs on MATLAB and other engineering softwares. So we try to leverage on the virtual platforms that we have access to reach out to industry professionals, and then we bring them on to take these sessions with us. And we also follow up with our members by creating subgroups where they go on to develop the skills they learn, so that we see that the programs are effective. So that is how we operate at the Federal University of Technology, MENA. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the answer. That is indeed such a great way to promote technical learning, because softwares like Visio and MATLAB also are indeed such a great software to prepare the engineering students in their career later on. So now we will move on to the next participant. Adrian, you may unmute.
Okay, so, to promote some technical learning and some skills, we had some programs with workshops that were taught with Schlumberger or Halliburton or other technical conferences that they gave us. Those training sessions or workshops are always free for the student chapter members, and that always made us feel like supported with these companies. And we had also some workshops that were like focusing on technical activities with some technical visits to those companies, and we always improve on those activities because they are very important for our members.
Thank you very much for the answer. By collaborating with some companies in the oil and gas sector, it is a great way to promote the technical learning and skill development. Now let's move on to the third student chapter. For Eric, you may unmute.
Okay, am I audible? My voice?
Yes, you are clear.
Okay. Regarding the effective strategies about promote technical learning and skill development among our members is as so far the most effective is bundling or collaborating the competition with the training itself. For example, we conduct competition like IP Fest. IP Fest is integrated petroleum festival. That one of the competition IP Fest is one of development competition. On that competition, we also has a pre-event such as IP training. And IP training consists of training software regarding the plan of development itself, like RFD for reservoir simulation and so on. I think it is so effective, applicable, and interesting for both of our members, and also interesting for our committee too. So that I think it is so interesting. So what we are waiting for, if next time you find the IP Fest competition, you can join it. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the answer. So you guys heard from Eric that if you are interested in joining IP Fest, maybe next year you guys can try to join that. So I think that concludes the sixth topic. We can go to the seventh topic.
Okay, so for our seventh topic, what steps has your student chapter taken to promote sustainability and environmental consciousness within the petroleum engineering field? So let's go spin the wheel and see who will be answering this question. Okay, I see UKMO. If you're here, you can raise your hands, please, while we are spinning the wheel. Let's see who will be the second one to answer this question. So I see SPE Palawan State University. Again, if you're here, guys, you can please raise your hand. Let's spin the wheel again. Okay, so we have University of UYO. I would suggest to spin it for the fourth time. And for the last question, we will have the remaining student chapters. Okay, we have Nile student chapter. Okay, you can raise your hands and answer the questions. Again, we will wait for 20 seconds, and otherwise we will be receiving insights from other student chapters. Okay, University of UYO, you can go ahead.
Good evening, everybody. It's the University of Uyo. So Nigeria, what our student chapter has taken to promote sustainability and environmental consciousness in the engineering petroleum field is every year or monthly we go for Energy for Me program in the high schools. You know, we go for care visits in the hospital, you know, and other organizations in the state to tell people about, you know, the field, what we are into, and how we could promote, you know, the engineering field, petroleum field, and how it could, you know, the beneficial uh, sustainability on how our field is beneficial to the environment. So every year we see how we could go to high schools, hospitals, and markets to tell the world that we are here and we're beneficial for everybody. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And now I see PSU student chapter. You can go ahead.
Am I audible? So for Palawan State University, we actually recognize the fact that as petroleum engineers or as future petroleum engineers, one of the main stereotypes that we are facing is that we are being tagged as the antagonist to environmental protection. And as the next generation who will actually be leading the drive towards a better way of presenting ourselves to the people, I think what the student chapter has done was to make sure that everyone realizes that there are a lot of ways where we can make engineering sustainable through. And for in the case of our student chapter, we made the initiative to tap a lot of companies for collaborations. For the things that we have already done, we have had series of talks like Pet Essentials, Young Engineer Tune-Ups, as well as what they have said earlier, the Energy for Me, where we actually train students from three high schools here in the Philippines. And we have also collaborated with ITS with talks promoting sustainability. And I think through this, we could actually instill in the minds of our aspiring petroleum engineers that despite the stigma that's surrounding us, there is still hope for us to turn the narrative into our advantage. So thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing your ideas. And I see the other student chapters are not here, so we can move to our last question. And I think there's no need to spend the, okay, I see the UKMO raise their hand, so you can go ahead, Nabil, and then we move to the last question.
Hello, I'm Nabil Benoit from the UKMO student chapter. In the sustainability and the environment consciousness, we did afforestation campaigns, and we did, as the last student chapter said, energy for me programs where we educate people about the energy transition. We host the OZES competition that is based on we collect a lot of students of petroleum and energy students, and they give us many ideas that help in energy transition. So, yeah, that's it. That's our thing.
Thank you very much. And I think the deforestation campaigns are a key, especially for reaching the net zero. So this is a nice initiative. And then we shall move to the last question. And yeah, I think there's no need to spin the wheel. Just the other student chapters who didn't share their ideas can just raise their hands. Dia, you may read the question, please.
Okay, let me read the question. How do you leverage social media and digital platforms to communicate and engage with your members? And what strategies have been successful in reaching a wider audience? So the student chapters that haven't give out their answers yet may raise their hand. Just a quick reminder, guys, this is the last question. So I want everyone to answer. Okay. You may you may unmute. From Akwa Ibom State University.
Okay, thank you very much for this opportunity to actually speak. Now, going straight to my name is Akawambo, the chapter president for Akwa Ibom State University, chapter of SB. Okay, I'm going straight to the questions now. Our chapter is a baby chapter. I think we are barely 2 years now. So the easiest way to actually get to the student is through social media. So what we do send broadcast messages through WhatsApp to inform them about SB events and activities. We use our email platform. We just recently created an email platform to send them details on why they should renew their registration and actually how to go about it. We also have Facebook pages and looking at also creating a LinkedIn page so that we can also get a wider audience on how to get students involved in SP. So that is it on my own side on how we are actually exploring the social media channel and digital platform to communicate and engage members.
Okay, thank you very much for the answer. Now let's move on to the next participant. Okay, I see here, Eric, you may unmute.
Okay, am I audible?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, first let me introduce myself. My name is Eric from ITB, Institut Teknologi Bandung, Indonesia. Okay, regarding the leverage social media and digital platforms to communicate in engagement. Okay, the strategies first is the ITB done is read the trend. Yeah, you know that marketing is about how to reach a lot of people so that you have to flow with the trend itself. And the second is SBITB itself not to be hesitate to make a bit humorous for the social media, because yeah, in our SBE it is privileged that we have a humorous people, because fun facts humorous reels in our SB account has more view. And the third is use the internal group or account as quick as possible, like my internal campus group or my campus official account and so on. I think that's all. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for the answer. Now I will give one last answer to the participants. You may raise your hand. So I will count down in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, since none of the participants raised their hand, we may conclude this roundtable session. So thank you so much for all of the participants. We are very glad that you have joined us for the second day of Student Chapter Development Workshop 2023, and we hope that you have gained a lot of insights and knowledge.
We truly appreciate the time, the efforts, and the interest of every one of you who is still with us here, and for everyone who participated in the SCDW 2023. And on behalf of all of us, I would like to say that without the participation of every one of you, this event wouldn't have been a success. And we are looking forward for more collaborations between one another in the future. Thank you very much.
We would like to fully appreciate SPE University of Indonesia SC and SPIFPSC as a team behind this wonderful event. We also would like to thank our media partners for making this event possible.
So before we're saying goodbye, I would like to take a photo of this delightful moment that we had. For all of the participants, please turn on your cameras for the documentation, and I'll wait for a minute. Okay, it seems everyone has turned on the camera. I'm gonna take 3 photos because we have many participants and we can't take the screenshot at once. So I'll count to 3 and then we'll take the first one and then the second and then the third. So 1, 2, 3. Say cheese. Okay, I'm gonna take the other one. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. Okay, and now we will take the third one. So cheese, everyone. 3, 2, 1. Okay, done. Thank you, everyone.
Once again, I would like to thank all the student chapters invited. And also special thanks to our media partners. And also SCTW 2023 committees. So don't forget to fill in the quality control before leaving this Zoom meeting, because this is a way to learn from your feedback and make a better SCTW for 2024. Once again, thank you very much for your attendance and participation in our amazing event. And I apologize on behalf of the team in case there was any mistakes. I am Nia.
And I am Noor. Thank you and see you in the Student Chapter Development Workshop 2024.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys.